Hey, listen, it's date night, and tonight we're making a Rob Roy coffee cocktail here on Coffee Cocktails. Oh, hey there. Welcome to Coffee Cocktails with Bob and Michelle. Welcome to date night, and welcome to our exploration of coffee cocktails with coffee, coffee liqueur, and coffee liquor. Hey, listen, today we're making a Rob Roy coffee cocktail. And a Rob Roy is like a Manhattan, except instead of bourbon or rye, you use a good Scotch whiskey. I think this one's going to be a good one.
I have a feeling you're going to get yelled at for using that one. It's so good.
It's the only Scotch I drink, period. Unless it has a higher number. I'll drink that one too. But a Rob Roy is like a Manhattan, as I mentioned, and we'll put up how to make a Manhattan up in the corner there. We have all kinds of variations of a Manhattan. But let's do this Rob Roy, and we're going to do it by chilling all these ingredients down and pouring it over coffee. Now the equipment you'll need for this is a couple of champagne coupe glasses, or perhaps it's coupe, something to stir our alcohol with. We're going to need some kind of measuring devices. Of course we'll need a V60 and a decanter to put that in, a peeler, some toothpicks, and ingredients wise we need some ice, some scotch, some dry vermouth, some coffee bitters, some
Angostura bitters.
Angostura bitters, some maraschino cherries, or how do you say it?
Maraschino.
Okay, I got it right. And some coffee, and then we're going to need an orange too.
Can I ask about the blowtorch?
Well, we're going to save that to the end.
Oh.
Sorry. Yes. That will be important and relevant. And it's not a blowtorch. All right, well, we need to set up our coffee first, and we're going to use about 15 grams of coffee. So let me get my scale out here and a little tray to put the coffee in. And I will need to tear that out, I believe.
You will?
Yep. Did it go to 0?
It did.
All right, 15 grams, or about a scoop. And this scoop should be 12.2.
11.8.
8. Oh, underperformer. Okay, but we're trying to get that to 15.
18 on the nose.
Whew. All my guesses were wrong.
15.
15. Okay, so this is a pretty big scoop, a little bit more than a tablespoon, but about a full one of these and just a little bit more would get you there too. We're keeping our coffee in the airscape. You know I love that because we squeeze all the air out of it and it keeps it nice and fresh. And when I push that down, the aroma of coffee that sort of jumps up at you is wonderful.
I can smell it from here.
You can smell it from there, I'm quite sure. All right, we're going to give this a little spritz. And the reason we do that is to take the static out of the grinding process. Sometimes when you grind, when you get to the bin down here, all the coffee will be stuck to the plastic. And we don't want that. We're going to start our grinder up and get it going. But we're not going to listen to that grind because I've already pre-ground some coffee. And that pre-ground coffee is static free. And I can get the scale out of here now. We're just going to go ahead and put our coffee right in our V60 with a V60 filter. And what you'll note about the V60 filter is that I have pre-wet it, or basically rinsed it. And the reason I do that is to get the paper flavor out. We don't need to preheat the device because all of this is essentially a cold extraction. All right, we're ready to start putting our ingredients in. I'm going to use a regular kitchen measurer. We could use a jigger. You know, this side's 1 ounce, this is 2, but this is a little bit of a shortcut. These are traditional proportions, whether you're making a Manhattan or a Rob Roy. And so it will be 4 ounces, and I go a little past the line because one thing to keep in mind is the coffee grounds are going to absorb a little bit of the liquid. And we're going to go 2 ounces of sweet vermouth.
Sweet vermouth or dry?
Yeah, dry vermouth, thank you. You know, I only thought it was sweet because I was thinking of you.
Aw, thank you, handsome husband.
Oh boy, there's a bunch of people rolling their eyes right now, you know. All right, I've got these coffee bitters. They're from Australia. I just love them. It's going to be 2 quick shots of this. 1, 2. And of the, help me out here.
Angostura bitters.
Angostura bitters. I don't know, it's such a tongue twister for me. 1, 2. All right. And got a little bit of a blend, but really I need to get some ice cubes in here.
Oh, you got the big ones.
I got the big ones. I'm going to go 2 big, not 2 big, but 2 big and 1 small. And we're going to stir it pretty aggressively. And, you know, when you do this, what we're doing is we're actually chilling the alcohol. And that sort of dulls the flavor on the tongue. And it's not that you want to dull the flavor, but it just makes it more palatable. And then also, as we stir, the ice does melt. And that actual melting dilutes the alcohol a little bit. And it's like, well, Bob, why would you want to dilute the alcohol? But it does, again, make it that much more palatable. Okay. Now, it's just a matter of straining right through the coffee. And let me hold back the ice and just pour this right in. It'll take a minute or 2 to get through. And I'll give it a little bit of a stir just to make sure that the grounds all get wet. I don't know if you want to come in and take a shot of this, but you know, the dry ones want to sort of stick on top. That's it. So everything's covered in alcohol. And the extraction process has started. You'll note that this will come out just a little darker amber color than the Scotch actually is, and especially the Scotch with the addition of the vermouth. You know, you sort of wonder, well, what kind of coffee extraction could you get out of a cold extraction? Well, when we do a hot coffee extraction with water, it's about 210 degrees, maybe it's 206. And it's actually that heat that helps dissolve the coffee solubles. In this case, it's the actual alcohol, you know, the grain alcohol, the ethanol in here that is going to help dissolve all of the solubles.
Which makes you wonder what it does inside of us.
Totally. It totally makes you wonder. But we're not going to think about that because it's date night after all.
Yeah.
All right. You know, there's all kinds of glasses you can use for something like this. I do love the little champagne coupe, and although you don't really need to put ice in this drink, I have a little semicircles that I'd just like to put on the bottom of the glass. And I've got some maraschino cherries that we're going to put in right at the end. Okay. This will still continue to drain for a bit, but in order to move things along, I'm going to hop it to over here and go ahead and give a pour into our coupe glasses. This really makes for quite an elegant presentation. There we go. And there we go.
That's pretty.
Now remember, thank you, babe, this is all in service of date night. And, you know, we like a little alcohol and we like a little coffee. Both of them help us get started on our date night. All right, Michelle was like, what's the blowtorch for? I do have a blowtorch because this is sort of a fun thing to do. You know, orange and cherries go really well with a Rob Roy. We could throw this orange peel in, or I could give it a twist, but I'm going to do something a little bit different, and that is actually just flame the oils in. And that'll just give it a little essence right on the top of the drink when Michelle takes her first sip. There we go. Voila.
Wow, that's very, very dramatic.
Yep. If you never need me to light birthday candles, I'm all set. All right, babe, welcome to date night. It's time for me to hand you a drink. And we'll do a little chin-chin.
Chin-chin.
Chin-chin. Welcome to date night.
Thanks, baby. Welcome to date night.
let's try our Rob Roy coffee cocktail.
Oh yeah,
That is super fine.
it is super fine.
It's a beautiful drink. It's a great tasting drink. We hope you do the Rob Roy coffee cocktail. But if you like this episode, give us a like. If you would, subscribe. If you have a comment, please leave us a comment. But we do want to leave you with this one last note, and that is when you love the world will love you right back.
From my handsome husband who knows everything about coffee,
To the woman I love deeply, we hope you subscribe to
Coffee Cocktails.
Brought to you by
OneBigIsland
In Space
.com
with two G's.